my name is Sherrie Maricle, and I'm so excited to be with you for the Ronald MacDonald House New York's Musical Magic Program, September 2020. And this is by far one of my very, very favorite programs to celebrate with you guys, because we are going to talk about the arts. Now, whether you know it or not, every one of us appreciates and loves the arts every single day. If you watch television, if you've seen a movie, if you've read a book, if you played a video game, if you looked at a beautiful building and thought, wow, that building's so cool. I mean, every form of creative expression that human beings have is considered the arts. Just briefly, as in case you can't tell, I am a drummer. I am a professional jazz drummer, actually. And what I started out with was some, this is called a snare drum, and these are called brushes. So it's one of the many fun things that drummers get to play with. But anyway, we're going to spend time talking about a few big categories of arts. But let's start out by telling you guys this. I know September, a lot of times, many of us go back to school. Some of us may not be going back to school or maybe studying school from home. And that's all okay, because we can still love the arts no matter where we are. Like I said before, it's everywhere in our lives. In July of 2015, the United States Senate actually passed a bill saying that the arts are a core subject for education, meaning that they're as important as math, as reading, as science, as social studies, as history, as all of your other subjects. Now, anybody that's in the arts, you don't have to tell us how important they are, but sometimes I think, sometimes people forget that, like I said, again, we consume and use and enjoy and appreciate art every single day. So, all right. Now check this out. And this is just a few of the things you can become if you study the arts or if you love the arts. You can become a musician like me, a dancer, a singer. What about a puppeteer? A painter, a sculptor, a writer. You could write novels, you could write poetry. What about a fashion designer? Who wouldn't like to make their own clothes? An architect, a filmmaker, photographer, an actor, an illustrator. That means you draw pictures. An animator, that means you get to animate figures for like cartoons and video games. A curator, that means you get to create cool displays and things at museums. A chef, cooking is so artistic. Wow. A video designer. A comedian. Wow. The list can go on and on and on. So maybe in your mind you can think of some things that are really creative, or how you express yourself creatively, and you're an artist. And remember, I really, really believe this with all of my heart. If you're expressing yourself creatively and you feel good about it and you like it, then there's absolutely no chance you can make a mistake. So if you're watching this and you have something creative in your heart that you want to put out there and share with the rest of us, let's do it, because that's what one of the great things that makes the world such a happy place. So, okay, we're going to talk about music and dance and art, meaning painting and sculpting and kind of visual art, and also a little bit of acting. So this is going to be in the form of not really a quiz, but sort of a fun little trivia game for you guys. So I hope you'll appreciate this. So up on the screen in a few minutes, you're going to see 5 different musicians. We're going to talk about music first. So what I'd like you to do, you're going to see the picture, and in your mind, real quick, I want you to try to think about who is it, number one, and then what kind of music do they play? And sometimes the kind of music, the fancy word for that is genre. So in just a few seconds, get ready for this. So this is going to be 5 musicians and playing 5 different kinds of music. And your job is to guess who they are. Okay, ready? Here we go. Well, welcome back, everybody. I hope that wasn't too tricky. They were 5 pretty famous people and people that I all admire. And remember, that's just, I mean, such a teeny bit of all of the great musicians performing music all around the world in so many different styles. So listen to as much music as you can. It's certainly, you know, again, I'm a musician, so that always makes me smile. Okay, now let's move to our next category. And again, this one might be a little tricky because not all of us think about dance all the time necessarily, but you've certainly seen it. If you do dance, that's even better. But think about the places we might see dance. Well, for sure, number one that comes to my mind is music videos. If you've ever seen a Broadway show or anything like that, that's certainly full of dance. A lot of times there's dancing in movies, well, even in TV commercials, there's dancing everywhere, for sure in video games. I don't know. Oh, I was thinking about showing you a dance move, but I actually don't have any, except I learned this when I was 11. This is so old school, everybody. The wave. And then, of course, there was a famous dance move that people in my generation learned from an era of music called disco and disco dancing, and that was a lot of thumb moves like this. So I know you're thinking, who's that crazy old lady on there? But anyway, if anybody wants to try that, the thumb dance, disco, or the wave. That's about all I got for you. But anyway, here we go for the second part of our fun music in the arts trivia. This is dance. Same thing as the music. You're going to see 5 incredible dancers and then the genre or style of dance that they do. And here we go. Ready? Dance. Okay, welcome back from the dance segment. I hope everybody had a fun time. Actually, I have a great affinity for, that means I really like tap dancing, and I've had a chance in my career to work with a number of tap dancers, and I love them. And of course, as you saw previously, you know, I am a child of the disco era, so I challenge everyone to try to do one disco dance. Oh, you don't have to, but it could be fun. All right. Anyway, so let's move on to the next category. Now, this one, when everybody thinks of art, often the first thing that comes to your mind is visual art and painting. But actually, there's many kinds of visual art. So I picked 3 that are pretty extraordinary. And I'm gonna tell you what they are because I don't want you to be too mixed up or too worried that you don't know what kind of art this is. But obviously there will be painting. You're gonna see 3 very famous paintings by 3 really famous artists. You're going to see sculpture, also by, I don't know if the artist is famous, but the sculpture you're going to see is famous. And then you're going to see something that's fairly new. That's called an art installation. That's also got some architecture involved in it. So the visual arts, spectacular. And basically, think about this. If you can visualize it, if you can see it, and it's creative, then it's definitely part of the arts. Actually, I think everything, we can see just about everything as creative at some point, whether I'm just happen to be looking at a piece of furniture, somebody came up with the idea for the furniture. They designed it, they built it, another form of art. So here we go with the visual arts. Enjoy these 5 things. They are all spectacular and they're very historical, and good luck with your guessing. Okay, everybody, how'd you do with the visual arts? That was some pretty spectacular stuff, huh? Some fun things you can try to do if you want to, if you wanted to try to replicate or do your version of any of those three famous paintings. That would be pretty neat. The Mona Lisa, certainly Starry Night. Oh, I'm sorry. I guess it's three paintings, right? Yes, three paintings. And you can try your very best to replicate those, and that would be really, really neat. Okay, let's move on to the final category. And this one is so big and broad, it's almost hard to explain with simple words, but you know what it is. I'm gonna call it acting. Pretending. When you're an actor, you're pretending. And that's a really neat kind of creative expression if you can do that. And there's so many things that are involved within acting. I mean, you can be on Broadway, which also means you might be singing and dancing. You can be a puppeteer. Musical Magic has worked with many great puppeteers. We love puppeteers. There's a lot. When you say actor, you can be a voice actor. You can be a hand actor, for example. Have you ever seen a TV commercial where maybe it's just someone's hand doing something? Sometimes you just see teeth. So there's lots and lots of layers and expression that can go into acting. So we're not going to have quite the same kind of trivia quiz or little information bits that we had before. This is just you're just going to see some examples of what you could do if you decide to be an actor. And I love acting, as well. I guess if I could do something else besides being a musician, it might be really fun to be on a great show like Saturday Night Live to do some sketch comedy or something like that. So if you were going to be an actor, what would you like to do? Where would you like to act? Would you like to be the voiceover in a video game? Would you like to be on Sesame Street and be a puppet, be a Muppet? Would you like to be on Broadway? Would you like to be in a movie? It's kind of endless. So use your imaginations and think really, really creatively. And like I said before at the beginning of this, there's absolutely nothing you can do wrong. If you love it and it's coming out of your heart, we love it. So be creative and express yourself. So here we go with some of the acting opportunities, and take it away. Okay, everyone. So hopefully that was a lot of stuff to fill the screen. That was a lot of things there, and probably you saw a lot of maybe your favorite TV shows, maybe your favorite video games, your favorite movies. Maybe you recognize some of the Broadway shows, and hopefully you recognize well, if you didn't recognize Jim Henson, at least you recognize some of his puppets. He's the wonderful person that created the Muppets, and he is a genius. So this, I feel like, boy, this time went so fast to just talk about the arts. And again, there's, my gosh, all creative expression. Just remember that. There's so many opportunities for you to express yourself. And it's officially as important as all of your other school subjects. So I highly encourage everyone to participate in the arts as much as you can. When you express yourself, there's a great joy that comes from that. And it's super fun. You can act with a family member. You could do little sketches and skits. You could make up your own song. You could certainly draw a picture. You could try out some dancing. You could write a poem or a rap. You could take some pictures and display them on your wall. My gosh, just try to use your imagination. That's the best thing that we have to be creative. And I hope you enjoyed this edition, the September 2020 edition of Musical Magic. And we'll see you again next month. And everybody, be creative and don't be afraid to let your best self shine. Okay, thanks everybody.